It all started on a Friday night. Mara was sitting alone in her tiny apartment, scrolling through job ads she didn't really believe she'd ever get. Rent was overdue. Her fridge had nothing but a half-empty bottle of soda. Honestly, life couldn't get much worse. And then, knock. Not on the door, not like a normal visitor, but the sound of paper sliding underneath. She frowned, got up, and picked up a folded envelope. No return address, no stamp. Just her name written in black ink. Mara. Inside, a single note. Stay in Hollow House for 4 nights. Survive and you will inherit everything. She actually laughed out loud. What the hell is this? Some prank? But her laugh didn't last long, because when she typed Hollow House into her phone, a chill ran down her spine. The place was real. An old mansion at the edge of town. A place people whispered about but never visited. Stories of people going in and never coming out. Locals called it cursed. Mara should have thrown that letter away. She should have gone back to scrolling job ads. But instead, she packed a small bag. Curiosity and desperation were a dangerous mix. By the time she reached Hollow House, the sun was already setting. The mansion loomed against the sky, black and broken, its windows like watching eyes. The front gate hung crooked, squeaking with every push of the wind. Inside, the air was thick with dust. Cobwebs stretched across corners like gray veins. The wallpaper peeled in long strips. And yet, the fireplace in the main hall was burning softly, as if someone had been waiting for her. Her footsteps echoed as she walked deeper inside. And then she saw it. A family portrait above the fireplace. A man, a woman, and 2 children. But every single face had been scratched out until the paper tore. The hairs on Mara's arms stood up. Okay, that's creepy. She tried to brush it off, telling herself it was just some abandoned house. Just a place. Nothing more. That night, she chose the least rotten-looking bedroom and set her bag down. The silence was heavy, the kind that pressed on your chest. She curled up on the bed, whispering to herself, 4 nights, just 4 nights. But as the clock struck midnight, Mara's eyes snapped open. Somewhere in the dark, a voice whispered, soft, broken, and close enough to make her heart stop. 4 nights. 4 secrets. Mara couldn't sleep. Not after hearing that whisper. She told herself it was the wind, or maybe her brain playing tricks on her. But deep down, she knew it wasn't. Just to be safe, she set up her phone to record the room while she slept. If anything weird happens, at least I'll have proof, she muttered, forcing a shaky laugh. By 2 a.m, exhaustion won. Her eyes closed. The house groaned with every shift of the wind. Shadows stretched across the walls like long, reaching hands. And then, thud. Her eyes flew open. Heavy footsteps. Slow, dragging. Coming from the hallway just outside her door. Mara's breath caught in her throat. She whispered, barely audible, "Hello? Is someone there?" No answer. The doorknob rattled, slowly, gently, then stopped. Her heart hammered in her chest as the door creaked open an inch, just enough for darkness to spill inside. She stared at that gap for what felt like forever. But no one stepped in. When morning finally came, Mara scrambled for her phone, desperate to see if it caught anything. She pressed play. At first, nothing. Just her tossing and turning in her sleep. Then, around 3:12 a.m., the screen flickered. Her heart sank. A figure, tall, shadow-like, standing perfectly still in the corner of her room, watching her. It didn't move, not once, not even to blink. It just stared, for hours. Mara's hands shook as she whispered to herself, "No, no, no, no. That's not possible. I would have seen it. I would have felt it." But the camera didn't lie. Something had been there. That day, she tried to convince herself to leave, to just run and never look back. But then she remembered the letter. "Survive, and you will inherit everything." There was something here, something she was meant to find. As she explored deeper into the house, she found a door upstairs, locked. The wood was cracked and old, but across it were words carved in deep, uneven scratches. "Don't let her out." Mara froze. "Her?" she whispered. And for the first time since she arrived, she realized she wasn't just being watched. She wasn't alone. Mara couldn't stop thinking about that door, the words carved into the wood. "Don't let her out." They burned in her mind like a warning, but warnings never stopped curiosity. That afternoon, she found a rusty hammer in the kitchen and smashed the lock. The sound echoed through the empty halls like a scream. With a deep breath, she pushed the door open.
The room inside was small, dark. The air felt heavier, colder, like the house was holding its breath. Dot, dot on the walls. Yellowed papers were pinned everywhere. Children's drawings. Stick figures with crooked smiles. But each picture had one thing in common. A tall woman with long black hair and hollow, empty eyes. Dot, dot, not. Mara single quotes, S skin crawled. What the hell is this? On a dusty desk, she found a diary. The leather cover was cracked and brittle. She opened it carefully. The handwriting inside was shaky, almost frantic. The first page read, "Mother isn't herself anymore. She watches us when we sleep. Father says don't talk to her, but she talks anyway." In our heads, Mara's chest tightened. She turned another page. Last night she stood by my bed. Her face was wrong, like her skin didn't fit. She whispered that she wanted me to come downstairs. Father said to lock the door. Father said never open it. Her hand shook. She closed the diary, her breath coming fast. And then she heard it, a soft giggle, high-pitched, a child's laugh. Right behind her.
Mara spun around, but the room was empty. Her pulse raced as she stumbled backward, nearly tripping over a broken chair. The laughter faded, replaced by silence. But when she looked back at the drawings on the wall, something was different. One of the stick figures now had her face. That night, Mara couldn't escape sleep, and when dreams took her, they were worse than reality. She dreamt of the woman from the drawings, standing at the foot of her bed, her long black hair covering her face, her voice deep, broken, almost inhuman. "You opened the wrong door." Mara woke up screaming, sweat soaking her clothes. Her arms stung, burning with pain. When she turned on the light, she froze. Scratches, dozens of them, red and raw. But her fingernails were clean. Something else had marked her. Mara couldn't take it anymore. The whispers, the scratches, the laughter. Every corner of the house seemed to breathe with something alive. And deep down, she knew, the answers were below. While searching the living room, she noticed something strange. The carpet bulged slightly in the middle like it was covering something. She pulled it back, coughing as dust filled the air. Beneath it, a wooden hatch. Her fingers shook as she pried it open. The smell hit her first damp earth, and something sour, like rot. A narrow staircase led into the dark. Phone flashlight in hand, she descended. The basement was nothing like the rest of the house. The walls were covered in claw marks, deep grooves that looked almost desperate. Rusted chains dangled from the ceiling, swaying gently though there was no breeze. And then she saw it. In the center of the basement was another family portrait, but this one, untouched. A father, 2 children, and the mother, long black hair, pale face, eyes that seemed too dark even for paint. Suddenly, the air shifted. Heavy footsteps echoed behind her. A voice whispered, cold and near her ear. "You survived the 4 nights. Now you belong here." Mara spun around and froze. The shadow from her recording stepped into the weak light. It wasn't just a shadow. It was her. The mother from the drawings. Her face stretched and pale, eyes hollow black voids. Mara screamed and bolted up the stairs, but the hatch slammed shut before she could reach it. She clawed at the wood, her nails breaking, her voice raw from screaming. Behind her, the footsteps grew louder. "You opened the door. You set me free." The last thing Mara felt was icy fingers wrapping around her wrist, pulling, dragging her back into the dark. The camera she dropped on the basement floor flickered, recording everything until the screen cut to black. And then, silence.
Except for a soft giggle, a child's voice whispering through the static. "She's ours now."